Alright guys, what is up? We got another Alliance War video here. This is war number 5. And this is 4 Loki versus Legion, so it's gonna be a pretty intense matchup. And actually, this ends up being the most intense matchup that we've had so far this season, as far as how close it got at the end. And for me, it's crazy because I'm taking a completely different path, completely different team. I'm bringing in Void, Killmonger, and Hawkeye. But I don't know. It's pretty exciting. This was a roller coaster match. Hopefully, I mean this video is like going to be about 10 minutes, but hopefully I can fit everything in that I want to say, because I mean this match was going back and forth and just ended up being intense from both sides. But for me, I'm going path 5, so we're going right up the middle. First node here is going to be a duped science champ. And I'm doing my path in one shot. Basically, I'm going from path 5 all the way. I'm taking node 29, so I'm boosting all the way up. I've never taken this path before. Not too sure what to expect. I want to be prepared as possible, and I'm only having to boost up once. So I'm using these big boosts that I've almost hardly ever used. Maybe if I'm taking the boss, I'll use them, but throwing in the 30% champ boost, regular attack boost, the greater health boost. And we're going to go into this first fight. We're stacked up. I'm just going to bring Killmonger here. It's power gain, power start 1. Only a rank 3 science champ, so I don't think there's anything that would be too threatening to me. Just ends up being Spider-Man. He starts off by throwing his special 1, and immediately I get the true strike, so he's not going to be evading on me. He is power gaining a little bit, but you can see evade failed, bleed. 10 hits in, he's already going down. I didn't want to accidentally push him to the special 3, so I just back off, bait the SP2, and finish this guy off with a combo. So these boosts are putting in work already early. And you can tell that my guys, they're hitting pretty hard. Next fight, we have a duped Cosmic Champ. And this is the Kinetic Reactor Power Reserve node. Power Reserve means it only takes half of your bar to use your specials, basically. So I'm coming in here with Hawkeye. I use an advanced power 1, and basically what I'm going to do is just spam my SP1, keep this guy power drained, because I think it's going to be a Hyperion. And I don't want him to accidentally get to an SP3 and knock me out that way. So my plan here, just spam the SP1. So it is Hyperion, and that's pretty much exactly what I'm going to do. Pairing him, hitting him with my SP1. He is still gaining power like really fast, faster than I can actually drain it. So I do have to bait a little bit, but as long as I can keep him below 3 bars of power, and if he gets there, as long as I can throw my my L1, will be okay. Now you can notice I'm putting weakness on, and that's because I turned on Resonate. So brand new path, brand new mastery setup for me, and this is mainly because what we got coming up after this is the 2 masochism nodes. So Hawkeye did his job. He does have a synergy with Void, but that never really came into play. But just in case it did, he was also that on the team for that. So 2 pretty quick fights, nothing too threatening yet. But now we're coming up to 2 of the harder fights. So this is masochism. I see persistent charge, so I do think it's going to be a bishop. There's an enhanced energy stuff. Definitely bringing in Void for this one. I still have my power start 1 boost going. I am going to throw in a science special boost just to increase my damage on specials with science champs. I was just going back and forth which one to use. I've never really used this for science, and that's actually the only one I guess I've ever had. So I just throw in the 12%er. Like I said, I'm really over preparing for this this matchup with Legion, guys. At this point, I think they're ahead of us by 1 death, but it's so close. I can't afford to give up a death. So we do get the bishop. Starts off with the masochism, and I just throw my L1 just to get my first debuff on him. And I would like to push him to the L2 whenever I can, because it's a lot easier for me to evade. I don't take as much block damage. And he's already got 2 petrifies, so that's pretty much ideal just to get those petrifies up as early as possible against masochism. So take a couple ticks on block, but able to evade out of it. I dropped block there, but so I did take a couple hits. But Void's getting this fight down either way. And gonna end him with an L1 right there. So Void makes that fight very easy. Plus being boosted up, like I said. But taking a deep breath, because here's now the most intense fight that I think is in this new Alliance war setup. And it's node 29, and it's a 565 Killmonger. And I'm boosted to the teeth and going to be taking Void in here. So I've been dueling Killmongers to practice. You see his PI's at 42k. There's a lot going on in this node. It's cornered, it's Power Start 1, Masochism, Aspect Evolution, Feats of Power. I mean, this is a problem node. And my plan here is I'm going to throw on an Invulnerability boost. So in case I accidentally push him to an L3, or just, get clipped. But with Resonate, I'm hoping that I can get enough Void debuffs to stick to get him in Fear of Void and just start reducing the power gain. So he starts off, and there's also Reverberation. So, I mean, I can't really hit him too much when that's up, or I'm going to take too much damage back. Right there, he's already at 2 bars of power. Right here, I go in with my L1, and it gets blocked. I hit him once with Medium, L1, gets blocked, he's unstoppable, hits me with a combo, gets rid of my invulnerability, goes up to an L3. I have the bleed on me. I probably should have played the minigame, but at that point I just lost it. I was like, what the heck just happened? I just gave up the worst death here. I thought I was on time with my L1. He got the block up and I couldn't do anything about it. So I have to heal up to full. I have to take this fight because we need to not give up any more deaths. I mean, and this is a tough fight, but I mean, the way I died was just so pathetic. So healing up Void all the way. We're going back in, and I'm set in not letting that happen again. So he's at 97% health. I need to pretty much solo him. Can't give up anymore. So start off the fight pretty much the same. He gets reverb, putting on weakness. And now I want to start dropping these L1s on him whenever I can. But I'll say this fight goes much, much better. Pushing him to the L2. The L2 for me is easier to evade, but it does suck that he has the 3 indestructible charges afterwards. Sometimes you'll see I end my combos a little early just so I don't take too much from the reverberation. And I'm trying to make sure that my Resonate causes Masochism so that I can get my Intimidating Presence debuffs to stick. And he's got 2 Petrifies, which is perfect, so we're doing pretty well here. I would have liked to get 1 more right there, but I kind of messed up with this L1, and it didn't put a debuff on because it was already maxed out. I think that's the only time I messed up with the L1. But I was kind of in I would say a pretty good rhythm, so I didn't really want to mess up too much there. But we got Fear of the Void. We're dropping the debuffs whenever we can. Now at this point, I'm just hoping that my next few debuffs can be Petrifies. But of course it wasn't. But once we get the Petrifies up, we can start inverting that damage. And right there, he gets a Petrify. And you can see he's kind of going down. So at this point, I'm also starting to think I can win this fight. And I accidentally hit into his block right there. And I'm starting to get nervous. But luckily, Fear of the Void's putting in work. We got my debuffs up. Throw an L2. Finish that fight. Super intense fight. So glad I got it down after the first failure. But this was a really intense matchup. If my fight doesn't really indicate that. But the rest of the team ended up clutching it out. And we got the win. So thanks for watching. Shoutouts to Legion and 4Loki. Later, guys.